beautiful people. Happy August 18th. We are going to start off with a quote from Louis Hay this morning. We must be willing to begin to learn to love ourselves. What a joy. What a relief to find a new friend in recovery. Ourselves. Long hidden, perhaps to a point of non-existence, we buried ourselves in years of gambling or using and denied our own presence in the scenario of life. Rediscovering ourselves doesn't happen overnight. However, just because we stop gambling... Oh, I said that all wrong. Rediscovering ourselves doesn't happen overnight. Doesn't happen overnight, however, just because we stop drinking. I swear I learned my punctuation in grade school. It's a gradual getting to know you process. It takes time and patience and tender loving care to establish a relationship with ourselves and to come to believe in ourselves. And it takes loving and discipline. Our bodies need nourishment, sleep, and exercise. Our minds crave nourishment too, and our spiritual peace requires daily prayer and meditation to flourish. But the rewards are great. Now we can look forward to spending a lifetime with someone we love, ourselves. Today, help me see myself as a whole person, worthy of love and care and respect as I grow in my abstinence. Help me accept who I am and who to become and to become the best I can. Wow. I think I'm still in a caffeine deficit, guys. Okay. Yeah, I think I still would love a nice big cup of coffee some mornings. And this is one of those mornings where I was thinking about a coffee and a cigarette. But that's not loving myself, is it? My patch came off right before I went for my walk. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, when I'm done with this 75 hard thing, I'll go get myself a nice cup of coffee and have a smoke, not a pack, just a smoke. But then I'm like, well, if I'm on level 2 of my patch now, I should be off the patches by 60 more days or 50 more days, however many left I have. So all the nicotine would be out of my body. So why would I do that? It wouldn't be very loving myself, I guess, is the moral of the story. So I'm going to keep trying to focus on being a non-smoker. And actually the biggest help has been not focusing on it. As you noticed, I haven't been really talking about it, but we are going strong at, day 22-ish without a smoke. And I owe this to myself. When it talks about our bodies need nourishment, not smoking is part of that nourishment. If I'm tying myself up with all the oxygen or restricting my oxygen or not being able to breathe when I go exercise or restrict me from exercising a little more hardcore because I'm smoking, like that's all depriving myself. And I have to do better than that. I just have to treat myself better than that. So this says a lot of cool things, and it's kind of a little bit of a hook here. What a relief to find a new friend in recovery, ourselves. I don't think that was very expected. And I think that probably most gamblers, even though they spend a lot of time by themselves, maybe when gambling, it wasn't with their present selves, right? Their mind was probably racing. They're probably, like for me at the casino, I wasn't hanging out with Bobby the way I hang out with Bobby now when I go on a walk, or even just being home. It's a way different thing. It's like an out of body, out of mind kind of experience when we're gambling. We're kind of in a trance. And the reading says, we buried ourselves and denied our own presence in the scenario of life. And it's definitely, for me, it was definitely like a going through the motions. Don't get me wrong, there was things that I enjoyed or didn't enjoy, but the overall big picture of it was definitely just going through the motions. And I could remember as much at different points in my life going, So what's the point? What's the point of this? And I've shared this, I think, before, but it's crazy how it works in my brain. It was like, okay, I get up and I go to work. I earn the money at work to pay for the house or the apartment, wherever, the place to live, to shelter me in between going to work. And I pay for the car that gets me to work. So like, what's the point? It's just this cycle, because I couldn't see beyond that, because I wasn't living life. I wasn't going to Asia or roller skating or having a podcast or meeting new people on this kind of level, because I was gambling. So getting your life back and getting to know yourself and getting to know different things that you like or don't like, or people you want to be with or don't want to be with, like, that's really important. And it's definitely something that shows up much better after we quit and we find recovery. And it does take time and patience to sort through that and get to know ourselves. I mean, in the beginning, like, it's so foggy, right? Like, the overwhelm, and it has nothing to do with being spiritual or healthy or any of that. Those are the furthest things in our mind when we are first trying to quit. It doesn't even show up on the radar. When we first quit, I think that most of the time it has to do with either one of two things. Either the financial damage is just so severe, or the relationship damage is so, like, even if you thought you could still borrow, steal, whatever, there's some sort of influence in your life, like a spouse or whatever, saying, this is it. Or maybe it's, getting caught at something bad. Those are kind of the reasons to quit. It's not like, I don't hear often, I want to quit because I want to be a better person. Like, there's usually a little bit more to the story. Maybe the emotions are driving them there. But as a general whole, I think a lot of times, what I've seen is it's people run out of money, and they do run out of, the emotional, what do you call it? Like, charge that you would need to keep going. Our bodies need nourishment, sleep, and exercise, which is so, so true. And again, when we're betting, and depending on what kind of better you are, I mean, are you sleeping regularly? Are you exercising? I'm guessing probably not. Maybe you are, and maybe it's part of your hidden personality on the outside. Our minds definitely need more stimulation than, well, it calls it nourishment here, and stimulation probably wasn't the right word, because as I said that, I realized you could be very stimulated by gambling and betting and different aspects of it, whether it would be watching a sports game or a slot machine waiting for a bonus round. Our minds are definitely stimulated. And spiritual peace, it says here, requires daily prayer and meditation to flourish. And we can change the context of that for whatever you're comfortable with. Spiritual peace requires daily work. Meditation is definitely helpful, but it could be however you decide that work is. Maybe it's meditating. Maybe it's researching stuff. Maybe it's reading or reading. All of that counts. It's whatever serves you. And again, the end, it does the same thing it does in the beginning. It's kind of unexpected. Now we can look forward to spending a lifetime with someone we love, ourselves. And that sentence reminds me of the perspective of when it comes to relationships, right? I've always said that people should compliment us, not complete us. And I've always been very true to that. Now, I might have gotten screwed up a little along the way for other reasons, but I've always known that, like, it shouldn't be, we should be comfortable in our own skin. And now I realize it on a much deeper level, that we really do have to love ourselves. Otherwise, we allow ourselves to be mistreated. We have to know that we're worthy. We have to know that we deserve the value and the respect and quite honestly, I don't think anybody can or would give this to us if we don't represent ourselves that way and feel that way about ourselves. It wouldn't make sense, right? If we don't believe that we're worthy of love in an unconditional way, and we're not loving ourselves unconditionally, why would anybody else? I think that's kind of the moral of the story. So that is today. I think there's a song, Go Love Yourself. Something with Justin Bieber. I can't remember how it goes. If you don't like something, you can go love yourself. I don't think he means it quite as nicely as this reading does, or that I'm trying to convey to you today. If you're familiar with the song, you know what I'm talking about. So when I say it, I mean it. I would love for you to go love yourself. It's important, and do some work today that helps you do that. All right, beautiful people. I'm going to chat with you tonight. Have a great day. And you're well understood.